Hello, hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm just going to get the chat sorted. We are going to go through the May 2024 1H paper. I'm not going to do all of it today because that'll be quite a long stream and you probably don't have the time for that. And equally, it's good to have a break. So I'm going to do a little bit of that today and then probably about half an hour. So that'll probably be about half the paper because the first half goes quicker. And then I will do the second half in some follow-up streams every day leading up till Thursday. Now, if you have got any problems or questions you want to go through specifically from any paper, put them down in the chat. And I'm just going to get that set up now. So just give me 1 second. I am just going to get it sorted in the corner because I've just come from another stream. So hopefully it all works okay. And there's already some people in here, which is great. Hello. Nice to see you back. Right. I'm just popping out the chat so I can put it down bottom right of my screen and I can see everything going on. There we go. And then I need to do this. There we go. Right. Make the chat a little bit smaller so I can see as much as possible. Right, here we go. So I am going to start off by going through this paper like I just said. This is the formula sheet on every test. Always the same. Will be the same this year, this summer. Okay, so first question. Pretty straightforward. Find, in terms of n, the nth term for this sequence. Okay, it's arithmetic, which means it's going to go up or down by the same amount each time. Now, this is going from 1 to 4, so that is plus 3. 4 to 7, so that is plus 3 again. And then 7 to 10, which is plus 3 again. Now, a sequence which you will all know about that goes up in threes is the 3 times table. And that starts off with 3, and then 6, and then 9, and then 12. And this is very similar, apart from all the numbers are 2 less, as you can see. Now, for the sequence, or the 3 times table sequence, it would be 3n. This common difference goes in front of the n, and then you have to look at how you get from the first term, 3, to the first term of that sequence, so that's minus 2. And you could do that for any corresponding terms. You could look at the second term as well, or the fourth term, okay? And see how you get from the term in that sequence, so that times table, to the sequence in the question. In this case, take 2. So 3n, take 2. I always just think about the number in front of the n and think about the first number in the sequence, because I think that's just the easiest thing to do. So how do you get from 3, the first one, to the first term? You take 2. Okay, next one. The nth term of a different arithmetic sequence is 5n plus 12. Find the 12th term of the sequence. Now, to do this, all we need to do is plug that into the nth term where the n is. So 5 times 12 plus 17. Is this GCSE? Yes, it is. This is IGCSE. This is an actual GCSE paper from last year, 2024. Sorry, year before, 2024. Because we'll be 2026 next summer. So 5 times 12 plus 17 is 77. You're probably thinking that because you're probably thinking, oh, I'm not in year 11, 5th year, and actually I can do these questions. Or hopefully that's what you're thinking. That is the first one, though. They do get harder. About halfway through the paper, it starts getting difficult. Right, 450 students were asked how they travelled to school on Monday. Each student walked or travelled by bus or travelled by car or travelled by bicycle. Each student used just one method of travel. And that's important because that means we know that all of these probabilities have to add up to 1. Okay? And that's the first thing we're going to use. So we're going to add all of these things up and set them equal to 1 because they're what's called mutually exclusive. They can't happen at the same time. So, for instance, they couldn't get the bus and get the car. I mean, you might think in reality, someone could get the car to the bus stop and then get the bus. But for the purpose of this question, it says they only used one method of travel. Okay, so it just makes things easier. We know that this is equal to 1. So 0.2 add 0.26 is 0.46 plus 3x is equal to 1. Going to subtract 0.46 from both sides. And we're going to get 3x is equal to 0.54. We're going to divide both sides here by 3. We're going to get x is equal to, well, I probably should be able to divide that by 3 in my head, and I probably can. I'm just going to be a little bit lazy. So that's 0.18. Now that's x. Now that isn't the answer to the question. You might think it is, but it's not. It says work out how many of the 450 students travel by car. Well, this is 0.18 because that's x. This would be 0.36 because it's 2x. Now to work out how many of the 450, we need to do 450 times by the probability for car, which is 0.36. So 450 times 0.36. Okay. And that is 162. Okay. Moving on then, next question. Find the highest scoring factor of 72 and 108. Show you're working clearly. Now this bit's important because you can actually do this on the new calculator. Not the one I got because this is the older one, but on the new calculator, if you go to, I believe it is home, or sorry, no, not home. You go into the normal calculation area, you go to catalog, I believe, and then there is, I think is the top option. You click on that and you get highest common factor or greatest common divisor, which is highest common factor, and lowest common multiple. So you can check it using the calculator. Now, what I'm going to do is, and you have to show you're working out anyway, I'm going to do it without, obviously, that setting on the calculator because I don't have that one. So I need to do my factor trees. So 72 is 2 times 36. Circle the 2 because it's prime. Bring the 2 down. 36 is 6 times 6. Now, neither of those are prime. Just a tip, if you get numbers that are closer together in your factor tree, so instead of doing 2 and 18, I go 6 and 6, then you will finish your factor tree quicker. You will have fewer lines to do, okay? So bring the 2 down. This is then going to be 2 times 3, and that 6 is done, and then this 6 is going to be 2 times 3 as well. That means that 72 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 cubed, times 3 squared. And then 108, so I've got to do the same over here. That is going to be, I think I can divide that by 3. Let me check. I can, 36. Whew, I need to take a breather. Getting lightheaded for all the talking. Right, that is 3 times by 6 times 6. And then 3 times by 2 times 3 for the 6 times by 2 times 3. So 108 is 2 squared times 3 cubed. Now from there, we need to do a Venn diagram, and I've not got loads of space here. I'm going to make some of this a little bit smaller, just so I've got more space in the Venn diagram. Select it all. Let's just make that a bit smaller, put it up there. Do the same with this one. Oh, try again. Should make that a bit smaller. Let's put that over there. Right, Venn diagram. I'm going to label this one 72, this 108, and my 72, I've got 2 cubed, 3 squared. 108 is 2 squared, 3 cubed. So in both of them, I've got 2 squared, and in both of them, I've got 3 squared. To make up the 72, I then need another 2, because that's 2 cubed, and the 108, I need another 3. So that's 3 cubes. Now, highest common factor is the middle. So this is the highest common factor. If you need the lowest common multiple, it's all of them times together in your Venn diagram. Scroll that down slightly. So my highest common factor is going to be 2 squared times 3 squared, which is 4 times by 9, which is 36. Okay. Right, moving on then to the next question. Ava records a number of kilometres she drives each month. In April, Ava drove 943 kilometres. I don't know why maybe it's for tax purposes. She's recording how far she's driving each month. Tax purposes. It might be she's got her own business and it's expenses. Or she might be doing it to reclaim the money if it's for business, etc. I don't know why else you would record the number of kilometres you drive each month, unless you're just curious and you're really conscious about how much money you're spending on petrol. Anyway, digress. In April, she drove 943 kilometres. That is 15% more than the number of kilometres she drove in March. Work out the number of kilometres Ava drove in March. So this is a reverse percentage question. So first of all, let's think about it forwards. So let's think, right, March total to April, there's an increase of 15%. Nearly, that's nearly right in the chat. It's not quite that. And that's actually one of the common mistakes, I would say, because you're pretty much there. You're trying to do a decrease of 15%, but it's because you're going back in time, it doesn't work quite the same way as doing a decrease of 15%, because actually this 943 represents 115%. Because if we go from March to 943, 15% more will be timesing by 1.15. And so to undo that, we've got to divide both sides by 1.15. I'm going to show you another method in a second, which you can use to work this out. So for March, it would be 943 divided by 1.15, which is 820. If you want to check, what you can then do is you can take this answer and you can times it by 1.15, do it forwards basically, and see if it gets you 943. If it doesn't, you've gone wrong, okay? Now, the other method that I'm going to show you is, if it's gone up by 15%, then 943 is 115%. Now, we need to get back to 100%. So we need to get down to 1% probably, and then times by 100 to get to 100%. So if we divide by 115, divide by 115. 943 divided by 115 is 8.2. Times by 100 is equal to 820. Okay, so hopefully that helps explain that question. Just while I'm thinking about it as well, tomorrow I'm actually going to watch the football, so I will do a stream, but I will have to do it earlier than I did the other day. So I'll have to do it probably set it up at 5 o'clock. It might start slightly later than that, depending on traffic, if I can get back in time, basically, from work. So hopefully I can. I should be able to. But yeah, just want to let you know that one will be starting slightly earlier than the one on Friday night. And then Tuesday will be probably about 7:30 again. Wednesday will probably be, because I'm having to stay at work longer on Wednesday, probably won't be back until 7:30, maybe 8. So that one will probably be later as well. It will probably be, like I say, 7:30, 8. I'll probably set it to 8. And then that way I'm hopefully definitely going to be back. Right, next question. In the diagram, ABCDE is a regular pentagon. Work out the size of the obtuse angle FED. Now, to work out this angle, we need to work out the interior angle of the pentagon and then subtract that one and that one from 360 to get this last angle. Okay? So, the formula for the sum of interior angles is n minus 2 times 180. Okay, this isn't on the formula sheet, not that I can remember anyway. We'll just double check. Let's have a quick look. But I don't think it is. No, they've got this sort of arithmetic series. No, it's not on the formula sheet. So you do have to know that one and remember it. I thought you did. Okay, now that is the sum of the interior angles. We need 1. Now, because it's regular, all of the angles inside this shape will be the same. So we can use the sum of interior angles, then divide by 5 to get 1 of them. N is the number of sides. So we're going to do 5, take away 2, times 180. 3 lots of 180 is 540. And then we're going to do 540 divided by 5, because we're going to split it between those 5 angles, which I believe from memory is 108, but let's double check. It is 108. So this angle is 108. Then to work out the obtuse angle, FED, just as a tip as well, the angle is where the middle letter is. We are going to take those 2 angles away from 360. Sorry, my brain stopped working for a second then. So take away 108 from 360, take away 96. I don't know how I used to string for, well, doing maths at least, for an hour and a half, 2 hours without my brain just shutting down and not working as well. Well, it doesn't work as well anyway after about half an hour. Everything seems to go a bit slower, which is not too bad because it just means it's a bit easier for you probably to listen and take everything in if you're not sure how to do something. Next one, fairly standard, fairly straightforward, I would say, especially compared to that last question we did on the last stream, algebra. So expanding this, I've done one of these before on the last paper. You can either do the eyebrows, mouth and nose method that I was taught, or you can use a grid method. Okay, I'll do the way I do it. So I do n times m is m squared. Well, then you do the nose and the mouth. So 5 times m is 5m. And then we've got m times minus 8, which is minus 8m. 5 times 8 minus 8, which is minus 40. So that gives us m squared minus 3m minus 40. Okay. Next one is a solving question. I will just zoom out because I know some people like to see the number of marks there are for certain questions. So that's 2 marker. If you're doing it with the grid method, m plus 5, m minus 8, and then you multiply. So it's a multiplication grid. And then you simplify these 2. Okay. Right, next one. We need to solve. When you've got a fraction, just a fraction on one side, and either a fraction on the other side or something linear like this, we just need to cancel out the denominators. There you go, brain not working again, can't get the words out. Times by 3, do the opposite. Now, when you're multiplying or dividing, you need to do that to every term. So I can't just do 3n times 3. I have to do 3n times 3 and the 4 times 3. So I'm going to get 9n minus 12 is equal to 5n plus 6. Then you want to cancel out the smallest amount of your letter, which is the 5n. So take 5n from both sides. That's going to give 4n minus 12 is equal to 6. We are going to add 12 then to both sides. 4n is equal to 18. Divide both sides by 4, and we are going to get 9 over 2, which is 4.5. Okay. Put that on the answer line. That's 3 marks as well there. Okay, moving on. Getting through them. This one, if you're at my school currently and you're thinking about the exams or any exams that might come up, this is not something which I don't expect you would have seen before. So don't worry about this question if you're looking at it thinking, well, what is all of this? I'm going to explain anyway, but yeah, don't worry if you're somebody that goes to my school and worried about upcoming exams. This is the universal set. That's what that symbol means. So all of these numbers in here are the only numbers we should worry about. Now, A is the even numbers. So any even numbers in here, they would be in A, okay? Likewise, any multiples of 3 that are in here, they would be in C. Now, B has only got these specific numbers, 23, 29, and 31. List the members of B union C. So that means the members that are in B or in C. Okay, you may know this notation from Venn diagrams. So, numbers in B or in C. Well, we've got 23, we've got 29, we've got 31. And then we need to do our multiples of 3, but only the multiples of 3 that are in this universal set here. So, 23 isn't, 24 is. That's 8 times by 3. Next one. Well, add 3 to 24 is 27. We haven't already got that, so that needs to go there. Then it would be 30, and then 33. And there are answers for 1 mark. It doesn't say you have to write them in a specific order, so that'd be fine. These are elements, so think of them like things, not as things that you have to order. They are just like items. You could have them like ping pong balls with those numbers on. They don't have to be in an order. The order's not important. Now the next one, scroll down slightly. This means not in A. That's what the apostrophe means here. Intersection means and in C. So we're looking for anything that is not in A and it's in C. Okay. So basically things that are in C that are not in A. It's got to be in both of those things. So multiples of 3, let's just underline those. So 24, 27, 30, 33. So they are the things that are in C. Which one of those are not in A? Well, not in A would be the things that are not even. So, can't have 24, that's in A. Can't have 30, that's even, that's in A. So we've only got 27 and 33 left over. Okay, gone too far. Now the next bit, is it true that B, the items in B and C are empty? So there's nothing in B and C. Let's have a look. Is there nothing in B and C? Well, B is 23, 29, and 31. I'm going to just get rid of the other things I've underlined here, because otherwise it could be confusing. So we're looking for B and C, not B and A. So basically, are there any multiples of 3 in B? No, because it's 24, 27, 30, 33. So, is it true that B in section C is nothing? Yes, okay. And then we'd put a statement basically saying that 23, 29, and 31 are not multiples of 3. 23, what are the numbers again? 29, 31 are not multiples of 3. And that'll be fine. Okay. We need to tick the right box here for 1 mark and give a justifiable reason. Now, looking at the mark scheme to my left here, the things that they would have accepted are, obviously you have to say yes, no members / numbers / values in common, nothing in common, no common members, numbers, values, they share no common members, there is not the same members, there is no intersection, or there is nothing in B and C. Again, very similar. What else could we've had? There are no members in B that are multiples of 3, which is essentially what we'd said. There are no members, numbers, values in that empty set. 23, 29, 31 are not in C. Again, very similar to what we've said, etc. It says it's not an exhaustive list, so there's lots of other things you could have put there as well that aren't listed there. They're just some examples. Right, next part of this question. The set D has 4 members and is such that D, the things in D and A or C is nothing. Okay. Like horrible writing there of nothing. Let me do that a bit better. Now, this is a bit of a head twister, brain twister thing, because there's so many things that are going on here. So it's got 4 members, and basically in D and A or C is nothing. So what that means is in our set D, that can't have anything in common with A or C. Okay, can't have anything in it that is in A or C. So let's have a look at our sets again. So can't have anything in common with A or C. So it can't have any even numbers in it, and it can't have any multiples of 3. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through my list now and cross out any even numbers, first of all. 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34. I'm then going to cross out any multiples of 3. So 24, 27, 30, 33. Now these numbers that are left, 1, 2, 3, and 4, they have to be the elements of D. Okay, so 23, 25, 29, 31. 23, 25, I believe, I'm going to double check in a second, is 29 and 31. Yes, 23, 25. List the members of set D, 23, 25, 29, 31. Okay, yeah, not the easiest one, that one, but you just got to think about it and be careful and try and write down in words what it's saying. Okay, right. I'm going to do this last question. Now I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to carry on tomorrow with as many more questions as I can in about half an hour. Yeah. So a cylinder is placed on the table. We've got this cylinder. The volume of the cylinder is 1575 centimeters cubed. Okay. Right. Before we go any further, how do we work out the volume of a cylinder? Well, it's the area of the base, like a prism. So pi r squared times by the height, which we know the height is 21. Okay, so we can work out the radius from this. Or actually, all we probably need is the area, looking at the rest of this, of the base, which is this bit. So we then told the force exerted by the cylinder on the table is 84 newtons. Work out the pressure. Okay, so 1575 is equal to, I could put pi r squared times by 21. I'm actually going to rewrite this. I'm going to write 1575 equals the area of the base times 21. Divide both sides here by 21 and we'll get the area of the base. We don't actually need to get the radius here. So that's 75. So 75 is area of the base. Then what we're going to do is we're going to substitute the force and the area into this formula. So pressure equals, the force is 84 newtons. You can see at the top of the screen there. 84 divided by the area of the base, which is 75. That gives us an answer of 1.12. And that would be newtons per centimeter squared, which is what we've got down here anyway. So 1.2. Okay, right. Like I said, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for those people that have watched or those people that watch later on. I hope that you found or are finding these videos useful and found the videos today useful. Yeah, I'm going to carry on tomorrow. I'm going to do one at about 5 o'clock because I'm going to the football afterwards. Come on, Man United. Tuesday, I am going to do a stream at probably about 7, half 7. But again, I'll set these all up so you know the times in advance. Wednesday will have to be a later one, probably 8 o'clock, half an hour on Wednesday. Now, if you've got any questions of any papers that you want me to go through that I'm not going through, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Put them down in the chat, put them in the comments, and I will go through those before Thursday. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody, and a great week. And I will see you tomorrow for another video, another live stream. All right. Till then, bye-bye.